Good morning, all of you. This is the platform of Gyan Sagar Civil Academy. We have earlier discussed national income and poverty. In this class, we will talk about the inequality. What is inequality? Inequality means unequal distribution of resources, opportunities, status. Inequality means disparity in the society existed that based on resources, opportunities, political power and economic status, etc. So inequality means a gap between the poor and richer. It is a gap between the poor and richer. It is what is the inequality? I have mentioned about inequality. It refers to the unequal distribution. It refers to the unequal distribution of resources, status, and opportunities in society. Inequality means a disparity in society based on unequal distribution of resources, status, and opportunities. So it is uneven distribution of resources, status, as well as opportunities. Next point I have mentioned about inequality. It talks about being unequal in status, rights, and opportunities. In other sentence, we can say inequality means not being equal, especially in status, rights, and opportunities. Next point I have mentioned about the inequality. Forms of inequality. We can classify inequality in different forms, and like economic inequality, social inequality, and equality of opportunities. First, I describe here economic inequality and social inequality. Next one equality of opportunities. So what is economic inequality? Unequal distribution of income and resources and wealth, unequal distribution of resources, unequal distribution of income, unequal distribution of wealth, etc. come under economic inequality. Next I write here social inequality. Social inequality means disparities based on caste, religion, gender that affecting to resources and power distribution. Discrimination based on birth, religion, caste, and social stigmas that prevailed in our society, and it create a gap between the richer and poor. So social inequality means disparities in the society based on birth, caste, religion, region that affecting in the distribution of resources and meting out the opportunities. That is the social inequality. Next point I mentioned here, equality of opportunities. It is the disparities in accessing to quality education, healthcare, and employment. What is the equality of opportunities? It is the disparities that existed in society in the access of education, healthcare, and employment, etc. That is the inequality of opportunities. Next one we will talk about the, so here I mentioned about first of all definition of the inequality. Inequality is the uneven distribution of resources, status, and opportunities, etc. in society. Next, I describe here there are three major forms of inequality. One is the economic inequality, next one is the social inequality, next one is equality of opportunities. After that, we will discuss about Lorentz curve. What is the Lorentz curve? First of all, we try to describe about this diagram. Here, suppose that we put on the values of cumulative percentage of the population, cumulative percentage of population at axis line. At axis line, we write here cumulative percentage of the population at axis line. This is the zero, value of zero. Value of zero means poor, poor. This is the 100%. This is the 100%. Yani ki richest. This value showing poorest of the poor persons. This value is showing richest persons. 10% poor, 20% poor of the cumulative population. 30% cumulative percent of the population is poor. 40, 50, 60, 70 and like that. This is the 100% means richest. Richest one I describe here and wrote here, and poorest we have right here. This is the cumulative percentage of the income. This value just I write here, cumulative percentage of the income. 10%, 20%, 30, 40, 50 like that up to 100%. Cumulative percentage of wealth we can also write in other way, like cumulative percentage of wealth, cumulative percent of wealth, yeah, cumulative percent of income. As you want to, you can assume that. So 10%, 20%, 30, 40 like that. It is the vertical line where I mentioned cumulative percent of income. Over horizontal line I mentioned cumulative percent of population. Suppose that this is the poorest 20%. Poorest 20% means 0% to 20%, from this value to this value, from 0 to 20%. Yani ki suppose that this is the India, yeah, any country, yeah, any society. 0% to 20% total population, poor population of the country, that come this slab 0 to 20%. Their income is 8%. Their income is 8%. So this value is showing 8%. Here I wrote in 8%. This is the Lorentz curve. This line is just showing the Lorentz curve. This line is showing the the slanting line at 45 degree. It's showing absolute equality. The slanting line at 45 degree, it shows absolute equality. Below this line, all the population come under the poverty, because it is all will come under inequality. Below that line, all will come under inequality. This line describe about the 45 degree. This is the 45 degree. 45 degree. Suppose that this is the 90 degree. So half will be 45 degree. This line shows absolute equality. Below that, all values will show as a inequality. As much gap created from this line, the inequality will enhance, increase. Just like this line is showing the inequality, and it is known as the Lorentz curve. So from this diagram we can draw information. Poorest 20% means this is the poorest 20%. Their income is just 8%. I wrote here 8%. Next point, richest 20%. The richest 100 means the richest one I put on here. So richest 20%. From this value up to this value, the richest 20%. From this value up to this value, the richest 20%. I draw here this line meeting to add place. From there I draw this line up to 45. 45. From this line, this value shows 45%, because this line meeting to that place, this line meeting to that place. From here, when we met this line up to this is 100 and this line up to is 55. This value is up to actually 55 if we are calculating from below. From here, this value shows 55. This is the last 100. From 100, when we subtract at 55, we get 45%. So this 20% population of a society, they have cumulative income of 45%. In other way we can explain here, this 20% richer, 20 richest population, this 20% richest population of a society getting income approximately 45%. So I put here this 20 richest person population getting 45% income of a society or a country. Another point I wrote here, 80%. This is the poor. From this we are moving to that value. So from here, if we are coming up to that 80%, from here we are going to that value. It means from 0 up to 80 means the poor up to 80%, 80% population of a society, they are getting just how much values? 55. This is the 55. From here, this is the 55. So 80% poor population, this is the value. 80% poor population, their income is approximately 55%. This value is 55. This value is 55. This line is showing here. The 80% population of a society, they getting income approximately 55%. From this diagram we can draw. So another way we again repeating about the Lorenz curve. Lorenz curve, the curve is plotted with cumulative percentage of the population on the horizontal axis from poorest to richest, and cumulative percentage of total income on vertical axis. What is the Lorenz curve? This is the Lorenz curve. This line is Lorenz curve. H much distance of this Lorenz curve is increasing from the absolute equality line. This is the line of absolute inequality. As much while distance become greater, increasing from this line, inequality will increase. Suppose that this line of the Lorenz curve is showing more inequality in the society. Again, if draw another line, suppose that I draw from blue. Blue just is the symbol of laborer. Blue is the symbol of labor, blue collar jobs. Those are the casual laborer, agricultural laborer, and daily wager basis. They have no job security. So they are in general European countries wearing the clothes of the blue color. So it is called the blue collar jobs. So the inequality from this line is a maximum of that line, of the blue line. So it is the Lorenz curve. This is the Lorenz curve. As much distance increasing from this absolute equality line of the absolute equality, inequality will enhance. So these are the Lorenz curve. This line is the Lorenz curve. This line shows line of absolute equality. And other things, this is the horizontal line from poor up to the richer. This shows cumulative population of cumulative percentage of the population of the poor, cumulative percentage of the population of the richer. As much as we are moving toward the richer, they are just their income is high. From this vertical line, it also shows cumulative percentage of the income. So Lorenz curve means the curve is plotted with the cumulative percentage of the population on the the Lorenz curve is plotted with cumulative percentage of the population on horizontal line from poor to the richer, and vertical line that shows cumulative percentage of the total population on vertical line, the cumulative percentage of population on the vertical line. Next point, this Lorenz curve, the area between Lorenz curve and line of absolute equality is known as the coefficient area, just like this. The area between that line, suppose that we are drawing here, this area, suppose that this is the line of the Lorenz curve. We draw line of the Lorenz curve, this. The area between absolute equality and Lorenz curve, this area I dotted here, is known as the Gini coefficient area. So what is the Gini coefficient area? The area between line of absolute equality, this slanting line, and the area of the Lorenz curve, this is the Lorenz curve, is known as the Gini coefficient, Next point, what is the Gini coefficient? Is the area between straight line यानी कि absolute equality and curved line यानी Lorenz curve, which is expressed as a ratio of area under straight line. Actual Gini coefficient is area between 45% line and Lorenz curve and area below 45% line, that is the Gini coefficient. Suppose that this is the diagram. I draw too much things for again I am putting, just erasing these things, and in a simple manner I want to draw about these informations. Suppose that this is the line. Next point, the area between absolute, this is the absolute equality, this is the Lorenz curve, this is the Lorenz curve. So what is the Gini coefficient? It is the ratio between this area, यानी कि this area is the ratio of whole area from that area up to from that area up to that area, completely this area. What is the Gini coefficient? The ratio between this area, the ratio of this area compared to this area, the ratio between this area compared to this area is known as the Gini coefficient. I put here, this is the area of Gini coefficient, and this area is what much having ratio from this area up to that area is known as this area is ratioed in term of from this 45 up to this line, horizontal line, so known as the Gini coefficient. Next point, Gini coefficient means is the area between a straight line and absolute equality and curved line and Lorenz curve, which is expressed as a ratio of area under a straight line. Next point I mentioned here, Gini coefficient means area between 45-degree line and Lorenz curve compared to the area below 45 line. My means that I plotted with the red line. In other words, it is arithmetic measure of inequality based on Lorenz curve. What is the Gini coefficient? It is the arithmetic measure. Of inequality based on Lorenz curve. Next point, it is measured from 0 any perfect equality to 1 any complete inequality. Its index is measured from 0 up to 1. 0 value just shows completely equality. Absolute equality means 0. 1 value of the Gini coefficient index is shows completely inequality. Just like the 0 means absolute equality, 1 means completely inequality. 1 means completely inequality. Yani only 1% have all the resources of a society, of a country. 0 means complete equality. 1 means completely inequality in a society. 1 means all the population of a country, and 1% population of a country or society having all the resources. That means 1 value of Gini coefficient index. In case of India, Gini coefficient in India was 0.410. 0.410 going if was the coefficient value of India in 2023. Earlier it was 0.3 and like that after independence. After independence in India, Gini coefficient value was 0.300, yeah, like that. But now it increased 0.41. It means inequality in India is increasing. As compared to the US and developed countries, developing countries are having less inequality, while developed and advanced countries have most inequality in society. Now toward moving here, another thing, that is the Palma ratio. Palma ratio. Palma ratio. What is the Palma ratio? It means income of top 10%. It means income of top 10, income of top 10%. Income of top 10% in comparison to income of bottom 40%. This is the Palma ratio. Income of 40%. In other words, income of top 10% is compared to the income of bottom 40%. In other words, income of top 10 richest person is ratioed as compared to the income of bottom 10 poorest person. So it is shown, it shows, yeah, it compares income of richest 10%. It compares, in other words, we can say, what is the Palma ratio? It compares income of 10 richest percent, 10 richest percent to the 40 poorest percent. 40, yeah, bottom 40 poorest percent. It compares income of the 10 richest person to the 40% of the poor population, yeah, poorest population. Next point we are moving here. Since 1970, after Palma ratio, now our next point is, since 1970, India's inequality is increasing day by day. So we can write here, since 1970, India's inequality have been increasing day by day. Another things we have to know, after adoption of LPG policies, inequality further increased, but it was started to increase since 1970. As much as passes of the time, inequality in Indian society is increasing. Inequality not only in people but also place, not only in person but also region. Inequality is increases among the peoples, among the regions. Northeast state, central India's tribal regions, and eastern India, they are having less income and wealth compared to the western India, Gujarat, Bihar, Bengal, and northeast. They have the young population of the poorest persons compared to the western India like Gujarat, Maharashtra, and Punjab. It is the region. Southern India, they are most richer compared to the North India Indians. So income of the south, yeah, inequality between the north and south. There also exists inequality between north and south. So person to person, region to region, inequality is increases in case of India. Whenever we are talking about the USA and developed countries, what about the developed countries? Developed countries like USA and European countries, inequality in developed countries is most compared to the developing countries like USA is having more inequality compared to the Indian society. The society of USA and European countries are having more inequality compared to the Indian society. So here we are talking developed countries. Developed countries have most inequality compared to the developing and least developing countries, least developed countries. Next we will talk about causes of inequality. Okay, bye, all the best.